Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet, and we are starting our community-based organization technical assistance call. It is 3 o'clock on November 30th. Just another month and the year will be done. Where did it all go? All right, so we've got a good-sized dashboard, good-sized agenda to talk about today. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to skip the dashboard because I need to get Olivia back on the call. And we're going to go to reverse referrals. And one thing that I want to make sure is that everybody understands if you are sending a reverse referral, we talked about this 2 weeks ago briefly. If you are sending a reverse referral, we need for you to include the 2151A and then send an email to the primary contact. And we have that list down in the file pod below. And this gets updated periodically. So check the EPIC Partner Restricted Resources page to make sure that you are getting the right name to contact. We had somebody that just sent a customer over. Now, we all know that there's three sides to every story. There's yours, mine, and the truth. So what we hear from customers may not always be what the real truth is. So we just want all of the CBOs to make sure that they're doing their part and sending the referrals. And if you happen to be on the call and you happen to have staff who are not on the call, please share that information with them as well, so that we make sure that all of the staff that would potentially be sending a client over to DHS office knows what the procedure needs to be. Okay. All right. So, Olivia, do you want to share your screen and go over the dashboard?
Yes, I sure do. Alrighty. So I'm just going to quickly go over the enrolled and the iStep dashboard and kind of see where we're all at. We're going to start with the enrolled dashboard. And I'm just going to cover on some areas that we need to be keeping an eye on, making sure customers aren't getting stuck in. And I'm also going to go over areas that DHS will take care of on the dashboard. So if you have customers listed in some particular areas, you don't need to do anything with them. So one of the first areas that we really need to make sure we're not leaving customers in for long periods of the time is referral pending needs 2151. The customers are going to show in this section within the first 48 hours after their initial appointment if a 2151 has not been uploaded. The next section, referral pending 2151 past due, we have 34 customers in. That means there's 34 customers who have had an appointment, scheduled date pass, and 48 hours have went by and we still do not have a 2151 uploaded saying whether the customer showed up, didn't show up, completed assessments, initiated services. So we really need to be making sure that we don't have anybody in this area because within 48 hours of the customer's initial appointment, we really need to be uploading that 2151, reflecting that they either did show up or didn't show up. Services don't have to be initiated right away. But if the customer shows up,
asking, what if a customer doesn't show up for the initial appointment and has to be rescheduled? So if you need to reschedule them, it will move them out of the referral pending 2151 past due.
Yeah, if you have a customer who doesn't show up and needs rescheduled, you'll just cancel out their appointment date and put in their new rescheduled appointment date, and then they will show as referral pending scheduled appointment. And then we need to include a case note saying, customer didn't show up for initial appointment, it was rescheduled for a later date. And you rescheduled them for another appointment date? Okay. Can you send me an email with the customer's other participant ID number in there, and I'll take a look at that one and see what's going on with them. I'll put my email in the chat pod. Okay, and so then the next couple of sections on this dashboard are sections that DHS is going to take care of. So referral pending, no contact from customer, recommend conciliation, 130 customers. DHS is going to follow up with these customers and start the conciliation process on them, so you don't need to do anything with those customers in there. And then we have referral rejected. We have 10 customers. DHS is also going to follow up with these customers, so you don't need to do anything with customers in this section.
One thing to keep in mind in those two sections, though, it is very possible that the customers may come back to you. Once DHS does their conciliation and sanctions, the intention is hopefully they'll want to re-engage. So don't be surprised if they don't potentially show up at your organization again.
Correct, yeah. And then the next section is referral accepted and enrollment started, enrollment required. This means that the customer has shown up for their initial appointment. The 2151 has been uploaded with client services initiated, but they have not been marked as enrolled in a training program on their progress page. So if you have customers in these sections, we need to be going in and marking them as enrolled in the training program of their choice. That way we're saving a spot for them in that training program, and it doesn't get overfilled or anything by the time that program starts. The next section is CBO needs to upload past due. We have 50 customers who do not have a 2151A uploaded for the month of October. This number is going to go up quite a bit here in a day or two when December starts, because we upload them between the 1st and the 5th of each month. So if any of your customers are one of these 50 customers, try to go in and get that 2151A uploaded for the month of October before December hits. That way you have the 2151As reflecting each month that the customer was engaged with you guys. The next section of the dashboard is the DHS review recommend sanction. This is another section that the DHS will follow up with. They will have these customers come in and do the sanction process. These customers could be coming back to you as well, so keep that in mind. DHS will leave a case note and let you know and reschedule an appointment with them if they do end up coming back to you. And then the final section is the exited status completion documentation needs uploaded. We have 4 customers who have exited the program, but their exit documentation has not been completed. In that section of the dashboard where you put in all their exit information, there will be red text telling you what exactly needs uploaded for these customers. So you just need to go in and go to the exit section and see whatever is in red is what needs to be finished uploading for them, and then they'll either move into the green or the red section.
Kelsey is asking if DHS is doing conciliation, and we're talking about the conciliation because they never showed up for the appointment. Are they giving the customer the option to choose a different training program? And I don't know the answer to that. Mr. Hill is on the call. Do you know if they're giving people another option or if they're just making them ineligible for SNAP, or what are they doing with them? Do you happen to know? If you can type in an answer for us, I'd appreciate that. And he's typing away, so if you want to move on to the next thing, Olivia.
Okay, so I am trying to pull up tests right now because I want to show you guys something with the ISTEP dashboard. I can't remember for sure if we have went over this or not, but I know a lot of you had questions about the personal development section of the dashboard, and some customers might not need steps in their personal development section. So what we're going to have you do for customers who don't need any personal development steps, instead of having them show under no steps identified, we're going to have you go to their personal development section, and on timeline and status, you'll click on that, and you can click complete and then update that, and it will show them as completed in this section instead of not having any steps. So then they won't be showing in that section of your dashboard. The next section is the career planning part of the I-STEP.
Olivia,
yeah.
if they don't need any academic items, you can do the same thing with that as well.
Correct, yeah. You can, I mean, if any of the 3 sections, you can do that. They're probably definitely going to need some career planning steps, and most of them will need academic, but a few of them might not, so you can mark them as completed as well. And then, so for career planning, we have 389 customers who still do not have a target occupation selected in their I-STEP. You can find that information from the customer's application. So if you can, work on trying to get that entered into all of your customers' I-STEPs so it can better reflect where this customer is wanting to go. And then we also have 209 customers with no steps identified. So those either need to be marked as completed or they need to have some steps identified in there. And then with academic and technical training, same things apply. They need to be marked as completed or have steps identified that they are or will be working on or have completed. Do you guys have any questions on the I-STEP dashboard?
But just keep in mind that the intent of this program is skill development. So the personal development, like I said, there may or may not be steps, but we anticipate that we will see steps in academic and career development. So we will be looking at if you have a lot of steps that are in there as marked and there's nothing related to it, then we'll be asking, what are you doing for these clients? Because we definitely want to see progression in what the clients are involved in. And then we're going to start looking at credentials too, and the credentials that are going to be earned or that are being earned based upon this program.
Olivia, you're highlighting something there.
Yeah. That was, Daryl, your question about the GED basic training. That would be under adult education and literacy classes. That's the step you would select for that one.
Oh, okay. Kelsey, you kept typing, and I... All right, so Kelsey's saying, how are the credentials judged? Does it have to be an industry standard or an organizational standard? And Tammy and I believe Olivia and I all 3 of us were on the phone, and we were talking about determining how somebody has earned a credential. And one of the things that we do recognize, if it's recognized by ICB or if it's recognized by the higher educational board, we know that's a credential attained. If it's recognized by, for example, Microsoft certified, what is it, MSSC or something like that, that's an organization that would credential that. So thank you. So those things are by the organization, and those can be entered as a credential in here as well. If it's something that you teach on a regular basis and we need to add it in there, let us know and we can get it added. We've asked for that all along if there's something that we don't have represented for you guys to share it with us. So does that answer your question, Kelsey?
Yeah, exactly. So it's industry recognized, academic recognized. Like a certificate of completion isn't necessarily a credential, so that wouldn't necessarily be considered to be a credential in itself.
Now, and we're going to have coming up in the next few weeks, we're going to try and get the women employed, and they have a soft skills program that is actually recognized by who, Tammy? The ICCB?
ICCB. Yeah, it's my
So
understanding.
that would be a credential that they could earn. Certificates of completion would probably be more associated with the career development rather than academic or technical training.
So an example of a completion certificate, the NOTS key that the clients, and we're going to be providing training for you guys on the services that are available in WorkNet, but the NOTS key, if the client goes through and completes that, they get a certificate of completion, which they can, put that on a resume saying that they can completed that, but that's not necessarily an industry recognized, credential.
All right. Olivia, do you want to move on with the dashboard, and we'll wait to see what Mike Williams is typing? Correct. Olivia, are you talking? Did you put yourself on mute?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I'm finished with both of the dashboards.
You're finished with both of the dashboards?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to tell you guys about the CBO primary contacts, or who the primary contacts are that you should be reaching out to. And DHS has provided a list, and that list is, I'm going to minimize your screen, Olivia.
Okay.
All right, you move it.
Got it.
And I'm going to make mine bigger. So what we have available is on the partner restricted resources page, we have a document that has all of these names, and these are the primary contacts responsible for staffing in the Chicago area, and then we have a list of all of the primary contacts across the state. So these documents are updated and kept up to date on the restricted resources page that is available from the EPIC Pilot Program Partner Guide. So all you have to do is go down to the restricted EPIC resources, and on this list it has CBO contact list for DHS staff or DHS key contacts for CBOs. We will keep those up to date in that area. So if there is an issue going on with the staffing and your EPIC case notes are not being responded to, check these lists for emails and phone numbers and contact those people directly. And in turn, what we need from all of you is that if there is an update to your staff, we have a list of the CBO contacts. So, for example, Mike Williams is the primary contact for Rock River Training, and Judith is the primary contact for, a Safe Haven. Is that right, Judith? And then Maria or Paul might be the primary contact for Southland Healthcare. So we need to make sure that we have those contacts current so that DHS can get in touch with you and that you can get in touch with DHS. The other thing that I just want to show off, just because I think it's kind of cool and I made it, is an interactive map that shows the placement of all of the pods and state offices, all of the DHS offices, and then all of the CBOs across the state of Illinois. Now, this is only on the restricted resources because customers are not supposed to see who the providers are until they have actually been assigned. But in some cases, when you're doing the reverse referral, those things are kind of obvious. So here, you can see, looking at, if you go to this map and you can see how close your nearest office is, like this is Chicago. If I move out, then we have whoops, get smaller there. We have a provider in Quincy, and we have an office in Quincy. We have an office in Beardstown. I think I'm missing an office in Region 4. I'm not 100% positive, but so then there are all of the offices in Region 5 as well. I just thought this was kind of fun, something interesting for you guys to take a look at. The next thing that we want to talk about is we've started posting on social media about the SNAP program, trying to pull some more people in. So what would be really helpful is if all of you could go to Facebook, Twitter, Google+, or LinkedIn and find our company pages for Illinois WorkNet on all of those platforms. So for example, today and or yesterday, when did you do that?
Yes.
7 hours ago, we got Get Help Finding a Job and Starting a Career, SNAP recipients only. Go in and share it for us. We had 29 people reached, so it's as easy as, now I'm an admin on this page, so I have to change it to myself, but it's as easy as going in and liking or sharing. And if you share it as your organization, then that way the information will get out to that many more people. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn. And if there's any of your organizations that you would like us to like your page for you, we'll be happy to do that as well. Just send us the links to epic@illinoisworknet.com, and we will make sure that we like your page and share your information when we can. Okay. Olivia, do you want to, or Tammy, one or the other of you, do you want to talk about the success stories?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need you guys to start putting success stories and submitting them to us. This is part of what we're going to start using in our marketing campaigns. And even on the WorkNet site, we want to start including, success stories and even potentially videos of clients that have, positive outcomes so far. So it's very important that we start getting stories back from you guys of what's going on with your clients and what's happening with the clients that are in the EPIC program, because we do want to use that as part of our marketing campaign also. So, and then, even doing a video with a phone, is fine. Whatever we can do as long as you have consent for the clients, and in the procedures manual there is consent forms, and as long as you have client consent to be able to utilize their information.
And the other thing, too, that we were thinking about doing was putting together a real quick PowerPoint presentation that will turn into a video with a picture and a quote from the customer that we will pull out of the success stories. So if you can get a quote in addition to the story, and I'm in marketing, so I'm pretty creative about being able to pull some of this stuff. But if you can actually get us a quote, and we're talking a sentence from somebody, then that way we can add it to whatever images we have.
And then something else I would like to know from you guys, if you internally have any videos or promotional marketing materials that you use for your programs. So an example, if you have manufacturing safety program and you have like a short clip video of what your program is about, please let us know, share that with us also. Because like I said, we are definitely doing a marketing initiative, or not really marketing, I must say outreach initiative to try and get SNAP recipients in to the program. So we may want to start looking at aligning your actual videos with some of our content to make a better fit for some of the clients also. So show of hands. Who has, I mean, do you guys have some success stories you can share? Raise your hand if you've got some that you have but you haven't submitted yet. Yay, we've got some hands going up.
They're both from the same organization.
Do you need to erase those raised hands?
Oh, we've got a few others with their hands raised. So let me clear out some answers here. All right, raise your hand now so we can see who it is.
Good deal.
Okay.
We've got some. We've got
Good.
some going. That's great. So we really need for you guys to share those. There is a marketing effort, can't say marketing, outreach effort that's Dee's spearheading. We're going to be obviously Chicago area, but then region 3 and 4 are some of our primary areas we're going to be working with also, just to get more volume in those areas. Region 5 is doing really well, and in Region 2 is really kicking it into. They're doing a better production than what we had planned, so they're ahead of our mark. But Region 1 and 3 and 4 is our target areas right now. So Region 1 is Chicago.
Right here on the front page of the EPIC Partner Resource Guide, right here we've got a thumbs up, and it's Submit a Success Story. So, Emily, we feel you. We need everybody to have some more customers. So, but submit your success story here for us to use. All right, and then Tammy, do you want to talk about the collaborative training while I get set up for the next piece?
You bet. And the other thing, Emily, to address some of you guys' concerns to it, I know it's been a very slow start, and especially in Chicago with the decentralization. There's a lot of effort on DHS's side going on now, too. They're also looking at, doing a stratification a little bit more of customers so we can make sure that we're getting some better work-ready customers to you guys also. One of the things we will be doing is extending your grants. So your grant expires at the end of January of 2017, and we will be, I think that's correct, we're going to be extending your grant. So literally you have just a little less than 2 years as of today. We'll probably go till the end of October of 2018 is what we're going to be looking at extending for your grants. And then we're going to, I want to communicate with you guys too as far as, services that are being provided, and is there some more resources or services that you think that we need to be doing with our clients in the field to make it so they're, more productive and they're, we're getting good results with these clients. But so the collaborative effort, we are going to be submitting a proposal for an individual to come and help us with some training. It's not going to be, like I said, a one and done. It's going to, potentially be as much of a 6-month training. She's going to come in originally and evaluate our systems and customize training for us. On the DHS side, they used to do quite a bit of extensive training, it's my understanding, about 10 to 15 years ago, and that kind of went by the wayside. And I think some of that's going to be resurrected. So we've been working with Pedro, who's the training manager with DHS, and they have actually a training agenda that they've got already put together that they used to use in the past. And so we're not going to recreate with the wheel. We're going to, use stuff that they've already got, and then change it to, address our environments today and move on. But one of the things I do need, I was going to see if I can get some people to stay on the call afterwards. I would, though, however, like to have a call and have a few volunteers from the CBO side. And if you guys can raise your hand after I say this, who wants to volunteer, that would be great. But what I need your assistance with is to talk to you on the ground level, what you feel would add value to what you're doing with this clientele. I have talked with a couple people regarding, maybe some motivation. How do we motivate? How do we engage? How do we interview these clients and motivate these clients to stay in the programs? We are going to be looking at collaborative training and management of these clients also. So, but what I want to know is what is going to have an impact at your level, and what do you feel is going to add value for this program and for your organization when it comes to training. So at 1:30 tomorrow, I want to get, if I could have 5 or 6 volunteers to get on a call with me, say from, 1:30 to 2:30 tomorrow, to come up with an agenda of what you feel is important. So some of the things that this individual can bring is like the triage effect of, how to triage your clients and, identify, what to do with them and what areas to, to put them in. The motivational side of it. We're going to be looking at, behavioral sciences that go along with this also. So a lot of different thought processes of how to get these individuals, to really think differently also. So if you don't mind, if somebody's interested in meeting with me tomorrow, if not, I'm going to recruit, and I've already recruited a few. But if you could raise your hand, and I'm just going to get your names, and then I'll work with you offline to get you with a meeting with me tomorrow.
So, Mary Beth.
Mary Beth, yeah, I recruited her already, so she doesn't have a choice.
All right.
So I need a few more.
I'm writing them down.
Okay, perfect. I just lost my screen here. There we go.
And then, Tammy, I need Juanita's phone number so I can open up her microphone. So if you can type that into the
yes,
chat pod for me. I think, and the gal from CAPS had said something about she would be interested in participating, but I don't know if she's available tomorrow.
Okay.
And I also don't know if she's on the call today. Cheryl Holman, didn't you and I talk about that? Cheryl Holman, you're from CAPS, right?
Correct. She is.
Okay, so now let me find this phone number.
The next thing, Juanita's going to be joining us. She's with DHS. We've had at least one situation so far that a client has come into a CBO and has been, literally violent in the workplace. And, anything that puts you guys in a position where you're feeling threatened, you don't have to deal with. But there has to be a process, a DHS process for addressing this. So it gets handled appropriately. So Dee is going to go over this process, and Juanita, who is with DHS, is going to assist and make sure that we're giving you the right information, when we're completing this. So go ahead, Dee.
All right. In the file pod down below and on the partner resource guide pages is this document, and then on the restricted resources page are the 2 DHS documents. So this is in the event that a customer is violent or does sexual harassment or something to that effect, and you feel endangered or your staff feel endangered. This is what we need for you to do, and this is the customer incident reporting procedure. And you'll go to your dashboard, go to the progress page of the particular customer, scroll to the bottom, and download a 2151A. You will mark non-cooperation and one or the other, joint staffing needed or recommend sanction, depending upon the level of the offense. You want to mark the progress section. The recommend sanction will send the customer back to DHS. The joint staffing will keep the customer at the CBO but involve DHS in any conciliation appointments. So that means if you just need the joint staffing, the offense wasn't that horrific, but if it's recommend sanction, you want them out of there. You want to include a detailed description of the incident on page 3 of the form and copy that description to a case note. You want to access the partner's restricted resources page to find Form 4582 and or Form 0107. On 4582, this is the screenshot from 4582. You will enter anywhere where it says program, you enter EPIC. And so for this one, it would be Administrative Division EPIC. Location name is the organization name. Office address is the CBO address. And you include any witness statements. And I'm going to show you the forms in just a moment. Include a police report or RD number where applicable. If you feel threatened or fear for your safety or the safety of others, you call the police. And then upload both the 2151A and the appropriate DHS incident report forms onto the customer progress page. Include a brief description in the notes section of the upload about the nature of the upload. Copy the description from the 2151A and add it as a case note on the progress page, and send that case note as a message and an email to the DHS primary contact and the Illinois WorkNet team. If you do not receive communication from the DHS primary contact within 48 hours, contact EPIC at illinoisworknet.com and we will get in touch with DHS. Include the customer other participant ID in any communication with any of the EPIC staff. So that's the procedure. This is Form 4582. Let me skip back up to the top. And here's where I was talking about. You'll fill in all of the date information. You will fill in EPIC here, the name of the organization, the office address. What is the type of incident? Phone, message, and electronic threat relates to cyberbullying. Stalking would be the physical kind of stalking. Physical assault, assault with injuries, assault with weapons, or something else. Who was involved? Was it the employee of the organization? Was it a customer? Was it both? Was it domestic battery? Were there visitors involved? Put in anybody who was involved or witness to the situation. What kind of injuries were sustained? And if you can, put a brief description. How was their enforcement involved? Was there security from your organization? Was it local police or state police? Who was involved? Now, this employee involved is basically for DHS, so you're not going to be filling in this information unless it happened to include a DHS employee. But down here is where customers, your CBO employees, and any witnesses, their information would be included here. And then we need to have a description of the incident. We also need witness statements. So if there was any other witnesses besides the parties involved, we need witness statements from everybody. If you need to add additional blank pages, please do that. And then we will be sending the information off to whoever the primary contact is on the DHS, on the EPIC progress page upload. The other form is the 0107. This is for the Office of, now I just forgot.
Inspector General. It's right there.
Inspector General, thank you. Office of the Inspector General incident form. And this does not necessarily have to be filled out the exact same time that you're filling out the 4582, but it would be a best practice because DHS will need to submit this form as well. And so if it is the facility we're talking, if you happen to be a state-run facility, you would fill in that information. Otherwise, it is your agency information here on the right-hand side, the date and who of the information, people involved for any of these particular people, witnesses, etc. And all of these letters that you see here are all explained on this document. So for VPW, it stands for victim, perpetrator, or witness. And then you're going to fill in that information, a description of the incident, and at the very least, you are to put in at least one line on what steps have been taken, and it may say perpetrator, I'm not going to be able to spell this properly here, was removed, or police were called, the victim was escorted out of the building to their vehicle. Whatever briefly you can do, we do need to know that something was done to ensure the immediate health and safety of the victim. The gray area is filled out by DHS. So once you are done with this, and this is a fillable form, unfortunately, we can't pre-fill this form, so you'll just have to type it on your own. Juanita, did I cover everything appropriately? I thought I turned your mic on, so you could say yes. Tammy, did I miss anything?
I believe you got it. The only thing, can you go back to the other form?
Sure.
And Juanita, we may have to, verify this with you. If you go up, actually it's down. I think the employer would be down that form a little bit further. The employer, if it's the CBO, that should actually be the individual at the CBO name and title. The seniority date and description of the discipline history does not need to be anything in there, because this form is also for DHS. So if there was a confrontation at the DHS office, that's what that's for. But if this was something between a CBO staff person, and they were being assaulted by a client, then you'd put the name of the person, the employee of the CBO, and their title, and then the customer would be underneath, so that whoever that was, if you have a customer that's coming in and it's threatening you, then that customer name and social security number would be there, and their address and date of birth, and then any witnesses that were involved in it also.
I think I would put the other participant ID in here.
And not the social security number.
Yeah, because then we can upload it. I think there would be some pushback.
And we hope that nobody has to fill us out. I mean, there has been an incident, so this is why this is a process that's already established in DHS, and so we need to follow this process. And like I said, we hope this is something you never have to do, but if it happens, we want to make sure that we're following the correct procedures and that it's being handled correctly.
All right, do we have any questions about this form?
And like I said, if something does happen, and you can always call us, to get some assistance in filling it out. Like I said, once again, we hope you never have to use it, but if we do need to have that process established in case it occurs.
All right, and last but not least, I went out to the field and did a couple of site visits, and I realized that we never did an on-site training for any of you. We did a whole bunch of them for DHS, but we never did any for our community-based organizations. So what we want to try to do is we want to try to pull together a training, and we're looking at December 13th in Chicago, and we've got one potential site, and Tammy's working on 2 others, so we want to get confirmed up who might be available. And then if you're not available, or if you're downstate and you don't want to come up, or the Kindle Market, or to see the lights on Michigan Avenue, this is not a mandatory meeting. We will be doing other site visits and trying to help you guys one-on-one if we can. But we thought we would do this workshop, cover some tools that are available to you, cover the dashboard, and help you through any sticky points. And Olivia would be up, I would be up, Tammy would be up, we'd have Vernita with us, and we would go over things with you one-on-two or one-on-one as much as we can. So if you do happen to be available on the 13th of December, please mark whether or not you are available. If you're only available for half of the day, try to make it the morning. And if you're not available for the afternoon, then we would reschedule with you to do the one-on-one help that you might need. But the morning we plan on having demonstrations of different tools that are available to you and how to do things and what you may have missed. So especially if you're new to EPIC and you've just recently replaced somebody, this would be a great, great, great opportunity for you. Okay, so we're going to track this, and if we need to, one place that we've found has, 10 laptops?
10 computers, and then we may, if we have enough people that can do it on the 13th, we may have to ask for some, try to get some laptops. So if you have business laptops, bring those along. Like Dee said, some of the things they're going to cover in the morning is the optimal resume, the employment 101, and then the NOTSCI assessment test that can be incorporated with this program. And then in the afternoon, what we want to do is if, Olivia Grisham is doing desk audits on everyone to see how you're doing with your, clients in the dashboard and everything. So if you're having, if you don't have information in the dashboard correctly, or you're not sure how to put it in the iStep or, how to, put information in the system, we will help you with that in the afternoon. So we'll look at what you've got in there, what's missing, and what needs to be done.
All right, and then Johnson typed yes in the chat pod, and I'm trying to figure out what that yes was for. Was that to sitting on to the call with Tammy, or was that a yes to something else? And I don't know who Johnson is.
We also have one question from Mary Beth. I'm not sure we answered. We have several customers that are awaiting conciliation. Most of them were no-shows. We did not complete the iStep because there's nothing put in, but they're still showing up in iStep dashboard as incomplete. How do we handle these? And so, Mary Beth, we may want to talk about this. I don't know necessarily if we want to close them out at this point because they could come back to you. So Dee and Olivia and I will take a look at this and see what needs to be, how to handle those particular clients. Dee, do you have any recommendations right offhand?
If you're waiting conciliation from DHS, or are they, so they never showed up initially?
They never showed up, and so they were at DHS for conciliation.
All right, we're really going to have to check.
They're not even enrolled at this point because they never even showed up.
Yeah, so I can't see how they would be on the iStep dashboard because I thought it flowed from, Olivia, help me out here. I thought it flowed from the progress page only were enrolled to the iStep dashboard.
Say that one more time, Dee, you cut out.
I thought that only after the customer was clicked as enrolled did their number flow through to the iStep dashboard.
Once they're marked as enrolled in the progress page?
Correct.
I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me double check that.
All right, and then we'll check into, and
Mary
then
Beth, we'll get back with you on
Beth's
that.
numbers. Okay. All right, so Mary Beth or Tammy, do you want to just keep Mary Beth and Sal on the phone for a couple of minutes? And then
actually, I'm going to schedule them for 1:30 tomorrow, and there's a couple others that I want to get on with this too. So we'll schedule them for 1:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
So guys, just keep plugging away. Which our method is to get more people to you too. I know we need a lot more production because we're getting more in, but we need a lot more to come through. Hey Dee, could you pull up the regional map on the reports to show the lines of the 3 regions and where we're at?
Do you mean the intake projections?
Yes.
All right.
We'll show this to you real quick so you can kind of see where we're at as a whole in each of the regions. And like I said, our outreach efforts are going to be in Region 1, which is Chicago, Region 3, which is the Peoria area, Region 4, which is Quincy and Decatur area, first and foremost to get our numbers going. But this will show you kind of where we're at with our planned numbers. We are doing much better, but we're still not on target yet. So we need to. I'm really hoping. Of course, December is a slower month, and November has too because of the holidays. But January, February, March, and April, we really have to kick in to get our numbers, to where we need to be. So that's kind of where Region is at right now, based upon a projection. Go down and show them Region 2. Region 2 is doing really well. They're above our projection line for performance of referrals at this point. And then Region 3 is considerably below, so that's another area we're working on. And then we're also expanding that.
Region 3 is totally voluntary area, so they're going to start back. I just talked to Vicki yesterday, and she said they're going to start back through to go through all the people who missed orientation the first time.
Right.
So hopefully they'll be able to get, because their invitation numbers are up, but the show
rate is very
not
low.
happening. And then this is Region 4. So Region 4 hasn't sent out as many invitations as Region 3, but I guess their show rate is a little bit better. And then Region 5 is just rocking and rolling.
Okay, well, if nobody has any questions, Dee, did you have anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay, we'll be following up back with you this week on the training on the 13th for sure, and get that honed in. And like I said, it's not mandatory by any means. We can work with you offline on that too, and especially Southern Illinois, and don't feel obligated that you have to go to Chicago unless you really want to. But because we will help, we'll be helping you guys when we do our TA visits also with this. But we need to, make sure that everybody understands how the information in the ISTEP works and the data that's in there, and then the tools that are available to you guys that you can utilize, through the system itself for these clients.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. Take care.